When you enter a trade, is your first emotion this, or is it this? I used to sit right over there. It's really a great spot to wallow in self-pity. Learning how to trust your system is the key to going from here to here. And we're going to go over that right now. Today's trading lesson comes from the book of Hebrews, specifically the first verses of chapters 11 and 12. Chapter 11, verse 1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." We don't exactly know who wrote the book of Hebrews, but whoever they were, chances are they weren't a day trader, which is kind of surprising given how applicable this is to trading. Think about it. What is faith? Well, faith comes from the Greek word which means assurance. We have to have assurance in what we're doing as traders. We've got to have faith if we're going to be successful, right? Assurance that our broker is going to stay in business. Assurance that they're going to actually execute the order when we give it to them. Assurance that if price has done a thing in the past, it's probably going to do that same thing in the future. That word substance means confidence. Hope for means trust, and evidence means proof. Our assurance as traders is based on the trust that we have and the confidence that we've built into a system that we have proven. And those systems generate things not seen, right? It kind of sounds like the opposite of past performance is no predictor of future performance. We've heard that a lot. But the system that we spend all that time building and backtesting is one that we place trust in for the exact opposite. We are hoping that past performance of this system is going to give us future results. And that hope there is built on confidence and evidence so that we can have trust in that system. You know, now that I think about it, maybe the writer of Hebrews was a trader after all. So how does this apply to traders? Well, think about it. Let's say you find a system out there, or you create a system. You know, you hear about one, however you come across this system. You're not just going to immediately start trading that system. No, you're going to test it first. Now, Paul talked to various groups in the book of Acts, which was written by Luke. And Luke said that the Bereans were more noble than the others because they actually heard what Paul said and then went and tested it for themselves. Made sure that what Paul was saying matched up with the scriptures. So there's evidence. There's a biblical foundation for this, right? You find this system out there or you create it. Don't just start trading immediately. First thing you do is you test it thoroughly. You back test it. And then you forward test it on demo. And then you will have the assurance, the confidence, the evidence that it's talking about there. That will give you the faith that you need to as a foundation for when you start trading it for real. Well, why do we go through all that trouble? Let's say, for sake of argument, that you see a system on YouTube. And you say, you know what, I'm just going to start trading that. Look at this guy's results. Now, maybe you can trust this person. Maybe you can't. You have no way really of knowing. But you decide, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in both feet and start trading this system. You might actually have some success initially. You think, wow, this thing is fantastic. But eventually, you're going to have some losses, some unprofitable trades. Eventually, you're going to have some unprofitable trade. Eventually, you're going to have those thoughts that are going to creep into your barrel of monkeys, handing out bananas laced with amphetamines. Now, what is that emotion? What is that thought that creeps in so easily when we have this kind of a situation? Doubt. Doubt is what creeps in. Doubt and discouragement. Doubt leads to discouragement. And those two things together are the twin killers of traders. There's a great book called The Confessions of an Alcoholic. Confessions of a Stock Operator. It's about Jesse Livermore, or possibly it's by Jesse Livermore, one of those two. Point being, he blew up several accounts, and he kept on trading. Losing your money isn't what kills you as a trader. Doubt is what leads to discouragement, and those are the two twin killers of traders. It's doubt that causes you to hang on to a losing trade. It's doubt that causes you to close out a winning trade after $1, right? Doubt is what causes you to find a system, jump in with both feet, maybe give it a day, maybe give it a week, maybe give it a month, and then, oh no, something went wrong. So time to jump to another one. Start the process over again. If only there was some ancient biblical wisdom that could help us with doubt. Here we go. Hebrews 12, chapter 1. This one's long, so I don't have to read it. Therefore points back to the previous chapter. Since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. Chapter 11 is called the faith chapter, and it goes through all of the great heroes of faith. Abraham by faith did this. Noah by faith did this. On and on and on and on, talking about all the great men who stepped out in faith. So it starts off, therefore, because I've just told you about all these guys who had great faith, since we're surrounded by their witness to us, let us lay aside every weight. Oh my goodness. That's a whole other video right there. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us. Let me finish, because this last part here is probably another video itself. And let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Now, not going to deal with that last part because that's a whole other video. But let's deal with that one thing. What is Paul talking about here? The sin that so easily ensnares us. He's talking about doubt. Doubt is the killer of every enterprise. No matter whether you're starting a restaurant or selling widgets on eBay, doubt is the thing that creeps in and says, hey, because here's the thing. Satan's got one bullet in his gun, and he's only ever used it 1 billion times. And he started the very first recorded conversation in history is Satan comes up to Eve and says, hey, did God really say? Doubt, that's what that is. And the same thing happens to us as traders. We have a system, we pick the system. We test the system or not. Let's take the scenario of we have not tested this system for ourselves. We buy it. And our confidence is based on the fact that we just spent money on it. And the person that we bought it from looks reasonable. The person looks like they're successful. I don't know if we have proof of that. And if they are, fantastic. But we buy it, we obtain it, we copy it, whatever, and we start trading it. Doubt is going to creep in no matter what. If you have not tested that system for yourself, you don't have any weapon to combat doubt with. If you have tested it you don't have any weapon to combat doubt with other than the evidence of the person or company or whatever that you got it from. Right? I've had 3 losing trades in a row. I've had 2 months of losing of negative returns. Well, the person I bought it from said this might happen, so let me just trust them. That's only going to get you so far. However, if you go out there and you back test this system yourself, now don't just, by the way, look at the numbers. I want you to plot those numbers. Take all the trades that your back testing system has shown you and plot the equity curve on an actual timeline so that you can see January through December and look at it and find for yourself, okay, here was a 3-month period where my equity curve went dead sideways. Here was a 2-month period where my equity curve went down. Let me scan through the trades. Oh, here's 3 losses in a row. Here's 5 losses in a row. Here's 12, whatever it is. When you test the system for yourself, you don't have to create the system, but test it for yourself. Then you have your own ammunition for when doubt starts to creep in and goes, hey, did that guy really say this system was good? No. I tested this myself. And I know for a fact, yes, I've had 3 losses in a row. But my back testing proved to me that I can have up to 12 losses in a row and still have a 20% annual return. One of the downsides, by the way, to backtesting, this is why this requires lots of faith. One of the downsides to backtesting is that we look at it in an instant. We press a button if you're automatically backtesting, or if you're doing it on paper, whatever the method is, it doesn't take that long. So you spend 5 minutes, you spend an hour, you spend 3 days, you backtest it. And then you look at the returns. But then you live that in real time. So it's okay, fine. I see this little line on a chart that says 2 months worth of sideways return. Positive, negative, 50% win rate and 0% return for 2 months. Okay, but then time comes for you to live through that day by day, hour by hour, and you're like, oh, this is just killing me. Yes, okay, fine. I see that I've got 2 more months to get through before this is over with, theoretically. All of that to say that when you test a system for yourself, be like the Bereans, even though someone that you trust, they had trusted Paul, and Paul was speaking the scripture. They trusted him, but they still tested for themselves. Let's say it's Warren Buffett says, hey, spend $5 and I'll give you my system. Everyone in the world would trust Warren Buffett. But at some point, doubt's going to creep in even with Warren Buffett. But if you've tested this for yourself, then you have evidence. You have proof. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the assurance of things not seen. I got that wrong. Sorry about that. But you heard it from the beginning of the video. That evidence, that proof is is your firm foundation that you can stand on. And that is the weapon that you use against doubt. The other weapon, by the way, is talking to other people. Because we're the coaching from me or someone else. Having a partner, an accountability partner, someone that you can communicate with that can remind you, hey, by the way, what did your back testing show? What did your forward testing show? Okay, yeah, you're having a rough week. You've had rough weeks before. You've had great weeks before, because when those rough days and rough weeks hit us, our memory gets all Swiss cheese. We forget about the good times. We can only sit there and focus on the bad times, right? We're living. Remember that picture I showed? That picture I showed, that's my favorite spot over there, to sit and wallow in self-pity as oh my goodness, I've had 3 losing days in a row. Enough of that. Now let's talk a little bit about the last part of that verse, where we run with endurance the race set before us. Trading requires patience. It's in the book. And trading is a marathon, not a sprint. Look, sprinters, Usain Bolt, fastest man on earth for quite some time, would lose every single marathon race he ever raced in. Sprinting cannot win you a marathon. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. You may think, hey, I'm a day trader. I'm in and out, I'm a sprinter. No, you may be a sprinter for a 4-hour period, but for the next 10 years, you are a marathon runner, and no sprinter ever won a marathon. So you have to take the long-term view. You have to run this race, this trading system, this market, this time frame that is set before you, the system that you have chosen. You have to run that with endurance, with patience. And patience, I've said it before and I'll say it again, patience sucks, but it is so very necessary. So bringing it full circle, test your system, develop that ammunition against doubt. Sometimes doubt creeps in, and sometimes doubt bursts through the window like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, doubt, here I am, your system sucks, all right? By the way, if you are new to trading, or if you have been one of those system jumpers from strategy to strategy before, the first time you start to have success, or the first time you commit, right? Here's what doubt's going to say. He's going to say, you've never had a system work before. Why do you think it's going to work now? So remember, doubt and discouragement are the killers of traders, but the killers of doubt and discouragement are faith and patience. So go out there with the assurance that the system that you have proved will bring success if you have patience. Create an expectation of success. That will quiet doubt forever. If you expect every trade, let's go back to the beginning. When you click that button, if you expect this and not this every time, back to normal. Every time, if you expect positive and not negative, then you will be able to run this race with endurance. And you will be able to reap in due season if you faint not. That's a different verse and a whole other video. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.